You don't get what you want in life. You get what you are. Every result in your life is a reflection of your standards, habits, and mindset. If you want a different outcome, you must become a different version of yourself. This is the season to stop waiting and start transforming. Radically, unapologetically, and permanently. You are exactly where you are in life, not because of your past, not because of your upbringing, not because of your job, your location, or the people around you. You are where you are because of your decisions, your beliefs, your patterns, your standards. The moment you begin to fully accept this, not just intellectually, but emotionally, is the moment everything begins to change. This is the principle of extreme ownership. It means you no longer allow your circumstances to dictate your reality. It means that no matter what has happened to you, no matter what others have done, no matter what challenges have been placed in your path, you recognize that the direction of your life is still in your hands. You stop outsourcing your power to other people, and you reclaim it through personal responsibility. There's something incredibly liberating about this mindset. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. After all, it's so much easier to blame. It's easier to point fingers and say, if they hadn't done that, I'd be further ahead. Or, if the economy wasn't bad, I'd be more successful. Or, if my parents had raised me differently, I'd be more confident. But that kind of thinking is a trap. It's a prison where you hand the keys to your growth and success over to everyone and everything outside yourself. You're left waiting for someone to apologize, waiting for the right conditions, waiting for the perfect timing. But here's the truth, no one is coming. The people who hurt you may never say sorry. The circumstances you want may never align. The timing may never feel perfect. And still your life is your responsibility. When you adopt extreme ownership, you no longer see yourself as a victim of life. You become the author. Even if something wasn't your fault, it's still your responsibility to address it. If someone broke your trust, it's your responsibility to heal and protect your peace. If life dealt you a bad hand, it's your responsibility to play that hand to the best of your ability. No, it's not always fair. No, it's not always easy. But fair and easy are not prerequisites for growth. Power belongs to the person who accepts the burden and says, I'm still going to rise. This mindset separates those who evolve from those who stay stuck. Because once you take full responsibility, you stop making excuses. You stop waiting for things to change. You start becoming the change. You start asking better questions. What can I do differently? How can I grow from this? Where am I giving away my power? You begin to realize that you can't always control what happens, but you can always control your response. And in your response lies your freedom. Responsibility is not about guilt or self-blame. It's about power. It's the power to rewrite your story. It's the power to say, I'm not defined by my past. I'm defined by my choices. When you fully embrace this, your entire perspective shifts. Life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. Challenges become lessons. Failures become data. Obstacles become the gym for your character. And progress becomes inevitable. If you want a breakthrough in any area of your life, it starts here. Own it, all of it. Own your results, own your effort, own your mindset, own your energy. Don't shrink from the truth. Stand in it. Because the moment you decide to stop blaming and start owning, is the moment your transformation begins. That's the foundation. That's the mindset that separates the average from the extraordinary. This isn't about ego, it's about evolution. Your next level starts the moment you accept no one else is responsible for your success but you. There's a massive mindset difference between those who stay stuck and those who succeed, and it comes down to this: consumer thinking versus investment thinking. Most people live their lives as consumers, constantly chasing the next dopamine hit, the next purchase, the next distraction, the next momentary pleasure. They think in terms of what they can get now. How can I feel good today? What can I buy to feel better about myself? What can I consume to pass the time, soothe the boredom, or escape my discomfort? It's a mindset that's reactive, short-sighted, and ultimately disempowering. And the scary part is that it's so normal, so accepted by society that most people don't even realize they're doing it. Consumer thinking isn't just about money. It's about energy, time, attention, and effort. It's the mindset that shows up in every area of life. In relationships, it asks, what can I get from this person right now? In career, it asks, what job pays the most today? In personal growth, it says, what's the quickest way to feel confident or successful? But success doesn't work that way. Growth doesn't respond to instant gratification. Fulfillment doesn't come from what you consume. It comes from what you build, what you plant, what you nurture over time. That's investment thinking. Investment thinking is long-term thinking. It's strategic, it's intentional. It asks not what feels good now, but what will be valuable later. It's the mindset of the person who reads instead of scrolling, who saves instead of splurging, who builds discipline instead of chasing comfort. Investment thinking requires patience, and that's why it's rare. Because most people want results immediately. They want the reward without the work, the spotlight without the grind, the love without the vulnerability. But the investor knows that everything worthwhile is earned through consistent effort, sacrifice, and time. When you begin to adopt this mindset, everything changes. You stop spending your time, you start investing it. You stop looking for shortcuts. You start developing systems. You stop chasing people. You start building meaningful relationships. You stop buying things to impress strangers. You start investing in your peace, your health, your skills. You start showing up differently. Your goals shift from surface level to substance. You start asking better questions. How can I grow this? How can I create something meaningful? How can I set myself up not just for a good moment, but for a good life? This mindset shows up powerfully in how you handle discomfort. Consumer thinkers avoid discomfort at all costs. They reach for whatever numbs the pain. But investors embrace discomfort as a sign they're growing. They see discipline as a deposit. They understand that the pain of growth compounds into strength, wisdom, and reward over time. Every workout, every early morning, every hard conversation, every uncomfortable decision, it's all a seed planted. It may not look like much today, but give it time. The results always catch up to the mindset. In today's world, patience and delayed gratification are becoming rare skills, but the person who masters them becomes unstoppable. While others burn out chasing quick wins, you'll be quietly building. While they're spending energy reacting to life, you're intentionally designing yours. That's the power of investment thinking. It multiplies everything over time. Your health improves, your income increases, your relationships deepen, your mindset sharpens. Why? Because you stopped asking what you could get and started asking what you could give, what you could grow, what you could build. So if you're serious about leveling up, stop thinking like a consumer. Stop looking for the fastest way to feel better. Start thinking like an investor. Invest in your mind, your body, your relationships, your future. The returns won't show up overnight, but they will show up. And when they do, they won't be temporary highs. They'll be permanent upgrades. That's the difference. That's the shift. And it's one of the most important changes you'll ever make. Growth never happens in comfort. Every transformation, every breakthrough, every elevation of your life begins with discomfort. It is not punishment. It is the process. Discomfort is the soil where discipline is planted, watered, and matured. The stronger your ability to lean into it, the stronger your character becomes. Everything you say you want, better health, deeper relationships, financial stability, peace of mind, confidence, lives beyond the boundaries of comfort. You will never get there by avoiding the hard things. You only get there by embracing them. Discipline isn't glamorous. It doesn't come with applause. No one's cheering you on when you get up early, when you say no to distractions, when you show up despite not feeling like it. But these moments, those quiet, uncomfortable decisions, are what separate winners from wishers. Anyone can want. Anyone can dream. But very few are willing to endure the discomfort it takes to execute. Most people retreat the moment it gets hard. They rationalize, delay, excuse. They convince themselves there's a better time, an easier way. But discipline doesn't negotiate. Discipline shows up regardless of how you feel. Life gives you two options: the short-lived pain of discipline or the long-lasting pain of regret. And that choice appears daily. In the food you eat, the conversations you avoid, the goals you postpone, the habits you indulge. Discipline is hard, yes. But regret, that pain lasts. That pain eats away at your confidence, your self-respect, your identity. Regret is the voice that says, I could have been more. I should have tried harder. I had it in me, but I let comfort steal it. You want to avoid that voice. Choose the pain of discipline now. People often wait for motivation, but discipline has nothing to do with motivation. It's about mastery. It's about keeping a promise to yourself long after the mood has passed. Discomfort will test you. It will ask you, do you really want this? Or do you just like the idea of it? And every time you push through that test, you grow. You become mentally tougher, emotionally stronger, and more trustworthy to yourself. You begin to see yourself differently, not as someone who breaks under pressure, but as someone who bends and adapts and keeps going. Leaning into discomfort doesn't mean you have to suffer endlessly. It means you stop running from the work that's required. You accept that change demands resistance. Think about a muscle in the gym. It only grows when it's pushed past its limits. The same applies to your discipline. Every time you endure discomfort on purpose, you're building internal strength. You're becoming someone who does what needs to be done, regardless of how it feels. That's a rare trait, and in a world full of shortcuts and escapes, it's a superpower. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's restrictive, that it limits freedom. But the truth is, discipline creates freedom. It frees you from chaos, from self-doubt, from inconsistency. It gives you the power to direct your life instead of being dragged by it. Discipline is saying, I will not be a prisoner of my impulses. I will not sabotage myself just to avoid momentary discomfort. That's where real confidence is born. Not from affirmations or hype, but from evidence. From proving to yourself day after day that you are stronger than your excuses. The people you admire, the ones who are truly successful, not just in money but in presence, peace and purpose, they've mastered this. Not because they enjoy pain, but because they understand its value. They know discomfort is the path, not the problem. They've trained their minds to see pressure as preparation, not punishment. And you can do the same. You don't need to be extraordinary. You just need to make one decision to show up anyway. To do the hard thing, especially when it's inconvenient. Discipline through discomfort isn't easy, but it's worth it. It's the cost of greatness. And the more you practice it, the more you realize you were never avoiding pain. You were only delaying it. So choose the one that builds you, not the one that breaks you. Embrace discomfort, build discipline, and become unstoppable. Stop chasing instant results. In a world addicted to speed, it's tempting to look for quick wins, shortcuts, and hacks that promise overnight transformation. But greatness doesn't unfold in a week. It's not built in a month. The people you admire didn't just wake up successful. They thought in decades, not days. They understood that if you stay consistent for years, the results will be inevitable. They weren't obsessed with rushing. They were obsessed with lasting. When you think long term, your relationship with failure changes. A bad week doesn't feel like the end, it becomes data. A slow month isn't a crisis, it's a recalibration. You start playing the infinite game. The goal isn't to win fast, it's to stay in the game long enough to become undeniable. That shift in thinking turns pressure into patience. It turns urgency into mastery, because now, you're not just trying to achieve something, you're working on becoming someone. The most powerful people on the planet operate with long-range vision. They zoom out while everyone else zooms in. They aren't swayed by temporary emotions or distracted by trends. They think legacy. They build foundations, not just moments. You can tell who thinks short-term by how they respond to setbacks. They panic, quit, or chase something new. But those with a decade-long vision, they pause, reflect, adjust, and continue. Their identity is rooted in the process, not the prize. Every habit you build today either compounds into greatness or decay. Think about that. Every time you show up, even when you don't see results, you're adding another brick to a structure that will eventually be unshakable. The results don't show immediately, but the roots grow deep. That's how trust in yourself is built. That's how real momentum starts. Not from hype, but from repetition. From showing up every day, knowing it's part of a bigger story. The modern world rewards urgency, but true mastery requires patience. You don't build a powerful mind, a healthy body, a thriving career, or meaningful relationships by rushing. You build them by returning, again and again, to the process. You water the plant before you see the flower. You stay faithful even when it's not fun, because you're not doing it for the dopamine hit of no. You're doing it to become the kind of person who finishes, who endures, who outlasts. Thinking in decades also protects you from self-sabotage. When you zoom in too close, you overreact to the ups and downs. You chase validation. You judge yourself too quickly. But when you zoom out, you realize every setback is part of the sculpting process. Every delay has a lesson. Every season prepares you for the next one. There's no rush, because you know where you're going. And more importantly, you know who you're becoming. Success is not an event. It's not a finish line you cross once. It's an identity you live into over time. It's built in the small, quiet, boring moments, in the daily choices, in the consistency that no one claps for. That's what separates those who wish from those who win perspective. The discipline to stay steady even when nothing seems to be working. The maturity to realize that transformation doesn't happen overnight. But it does happen, so slow down. But don't stop. Delay gratification, but don't delay action. Take the long view of your life. Picture yourself 10 years from now, stronger, wiser, calmer, more capable. Every decision you make today is either casting a vote for that future self or taking you away from it. Choose wisely. Choose patience. Choose persistence. Think in decades. Act with intention and trust the process, because the future isn't created in a single day. It's forged over thousands of them. Brick by brick, step by step, thought by thought. You are not here to be fast, you are here to be forever. So build like it. The key to massive success is not in asking, what can I take? But rather, what can I give? When your focus shifts from consumption to contribution, everything begins to change. Most people are stuck in a mindset of scarcity. They want more money, more praise, more opportunities, but they rarely ask how they can earn it through service. The truth is, life rewards those who create value. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having all the answers. It's about showing up and serving with what you already have. Value creation is the cornerstone of greatness. When you solve problems, you become needed. When you ease pain, you become remembered. When you help others win, you rise with them. People are magnetically drawn to those who improve their lives. If you want to become unstoppable, become irreplaceable. And you do that not by being louder, richer, or more impressive, but by being useful, by being valuable, by showing up in ways that matter. Your income is a reflection of the value you bring to the world. If you want more, you must give more. It's a simple principle that too many overlook. They chase status instead of substance. But the real winners are those who obsess over how they can serve better, how they can improve the customer's experience, how they can deliver more than what's expected, how they can leave people better than they found them. These people don't need to chase success. Success chases them. The beautiful thing is, you don't have to wait until you're perfect to start. You don't need a perfect product, perfect body, or perfect platform. You can begin right now, with your current skills, your current mindset, your current reach. The question is not whether you're ready. The question is whether you're willing. Willing to serve without applause. Willing to improve without recognition. Willing to go the extra mile without expecting anything in return. Because when you give like that, you rise like never before. This mindset is powerful because it turns every situation into an opportunity. Even when life is difficult, even when resources are scarce, even when nothing seems to be going your way, you can always find a way to be valuable. That mindset is resilient. It's resourceful. It trains you to stop complaining and start contributing. Instead of focusing on what you lack, you look at what you can offer. That's how leaders are made. That's how movements begin. The most successful people aren't obsessed with fame. They're obsessed with impact. They wake up asking, who can I help today? They don't just work hard. They work meaningfully. Their passion is rooted in purpose. They understand that the more they pour into others, the more the world pours into them. This isn't just about business. It's about life. Relationships grow when you add value. Opportunities show up when you bring solutions. Fulfillment comes not from accumulation, but from contribution. And don't think small. Don't limit your value creation to just your job or your circle. You can bring light into every room you enter. You can uplift with your words, energize with your effort, and inspire with your actions. It's not always about creating $1 billion business. Sometimes, it's about being the person who makes people feel seen, who makes people feel safe, who makes people believe in themselves again. That's real value. Obsess over value. Let that be your focus. Outwork others not for applause, but for the satisfaction of knowing you showed up to serve. Outthink others not to dominate, but to elevate. Outgive others not for reward, but for the joy of contribution. When value becomes your obsession, success becomes your shadow. It follows you, it finds you, and it never leaves you behind. Because in the end, the ones who give the most don't just win, they lead. They inspire. They change everything. Learning is not a phase, it's a lifelong commitment. It doesn't end with a diploma, a degree, or a job title. In fact, that's just where real education begins. The moment you believe you've learned enough is the moment you begin to fall behind. The world is evolving fast. Technology, industries, economies, even human behavior, everything is in constant motion. And those who resist change, who cling to outdated knowledge, who stop learning, quickly become irrelevant. The future belongs to those who stay teachable. Growth requires humility. It demands that you acknowledge you don't know it all. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, repeating what you've always done, relying on what you already know. But that's not how you evolve. Every day offers a chance to sharpen your mind. Read books that challenge your perspective. Take courses that stretch your skills. Watch videos, listen to podcasts. Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. Don't fear what you don't know, embrace it. Because the curious mind is the powerful mind. Adaptability is the superpower of this generation. The most valuable people in any field are not necessarily the most talented. They are the most adaptable. They can shift, learn, unlearn, and relearn faster than the rest. They don't get stuck in how things used to be. They don't fight change, they flow with it. They are students of life, always watching, listening, adjusting. Their mindset isn't fixed, it's flexible. And that mindset keeps them ahead of the curve. Life will always test your ability to evolve. The job you have today may not exist tomorrow. The skills that make you valuable now may be obsolete in 5 years. The relationship dynamics, the culture, even the way we communicate. Everything changes. And so must you. The people who thrive in times of disruption aren't the ones who panic. They're the ones who have built a lifestyle around learning. They stay current. They stay sharp. They stay ready. Continuous learning isn't just about knowledge. It's about identity. Every time you learn something new, you update who you are. You become more capable, more confident, more resilient. You gain insight into the world and into yourself. Learning fuels self-awareness. It exposes your blind spots and helps you make better decisions. It unlocks new passions and hidden potential. It gives you more tools in your toolbox. So when life throws something unexpected at you, you're prepared. There's no excuse not to grow. Information is everywhere. Free courses, books, mentors, communities, content. We live in the age of access. But what's missing is the hunger, the drive to seek out knowledge, the discipline to study every day even when no one is watching, the courage to ask questions, admit ignorance, and seek answers. Success isn't handed to the smartest person. It's earned by the most committed learner. In every season of life, be a student. When you fail, study the lesson. When you succeed, analyze why. When you hit a wall, look for a new strategy. When things change, pivot. Don't let your pride keep you stuck. Don't let your ego keep you stagnant. Stay open. Stay curious. Stay hungry. Because the minute you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start dying. You don't have to be the best right away. You just have to get better every day. That's what learning is about. Small upgrades, tiny shifts, daily evolution. Over time, those habits compound. They turn ordinary people into experts, amateurs into professionals, dreamers into achievers, all because they chose to keep learning when others chose to stay the same. In a world that never stops changing, don't stop growing. Stay in motion. Keep reading, keep practicing, keep asking questions. Make growth your lifestyle. Because the ones who keep learning are the ones who keep leading. In a world where change is the only constant, continuous learning is not a luxury. It's a necessity. The moment you stop growing, you start falling behind. Those who thrive aren't the ones who know it all. They're the ones who never stop learning. They remain humble, curious, and adaptable. They embrace challenges, evolve with change, and never settle for yesterday's knowledge. Make learning your daily habit, not a seasonal goal. Let growth be your identity. Because in the end, it's not just about what you know. It's about who you become in the process. Keep learning, keep adapting, and you'll keep rising.